Afternoon, everyone. Haven't had ramblings of a short, fat, bald guy for quite some time. Actually, I think the last was right at the very start of the war by Russia in the Ukraine. Um, Months later, that's still going on. People are dying every day, whether they're Russians, whether they're Ukrainians, doesn't really matter. Um, Putin's not going to back down. Ukraine's not going to back down. So we're going to see ugliness for quite some time, I'm afraid. Um, what else going on? We've had, a couple of mass shootings, a couple of school shootings. The government is looking at some gun laws, you know, and of course, we have Joe Biden and his uh, mumblings about, 9 millimeters blowing lungs out of people and stuff. It's just, it goes on and on and on. Um, Long and short of it is they're not going to take people's guns away. Uh, and the law abiding citizens typically aren't the people that they need to worry about. But, you know, I don't I don't see a problem with a more in depth background check if necessary. And, I guess we'll just see what happens there. The only thing I'm going to say is that, the shootings in our schools need to stop because I mean, our kids are getting killed in the schools, and that's just ridiculous. Um, Back in the day, it used to be school was a safe place, and obviously now it's not. One of my friends had posted that the leading cause of death in people 19 and under is guns. Now, I'm not talking all of mass shootings. There's suicides, there's accidentals, but the leading cause of death is guns in young people in our country. Which is just a sad, sad statistic. Um, I think back in my day, it would have been probably car accidents, automobile accidents, motorcycle accidents, things like that. Anyway, uh, it is what it is, and hopefully, people will start to take care of each other and start to actually feel feelings for each other, because I really think that that's where we have gone so wrong. Is everybody just feels like, what, it's all about me, fuck everybody else. Excuse the language if you're offended. I'm sorry about that, but it's pretty much the attitude that most people have anymore, and it's very frustrating. But you know be that as it may, I still don't want to live anywhere else. I wouldn't want to live overseas. I wouldn't want to mess with all of that. COVID is obviously still around. Numbers are up, numbers are down. Uh, Most illness right now is no longer a serious illness unless the people have an underlying health condition. I know the hospital's not had a lot of patients. The long-term care facilities have not had a lot of inpatients, things like that. So, I mean, something must be working there. I mean, we're still not got a lot of people vaccinated in the country, but, maybe 60%, something like that. Again, if you don't want to get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated. That's your choice. Um, that's something that I've said all along. Um, as far as guns, people don't like guns. That's their choice. Um, you know, we have the hearings going on about the Capitol insurrection, and I was made mention about something that had nothing to do with the Capitol insurrection. Somebody said, "Oh, don't worry, you have live entertainment TV to keep you angry about the whole situation." I got to be honest with you. I'm not angry. I'm sad that this is the state that our country's in. Um, it's just something I can't fathom. I mean, this is a state that we're in. It's us against them. The Republicans versus the Democrats, the conservatives versus the liberals, blah, blah, blah. And apparently you can't be anywhere in the middle. You've got to be one side or the other, because if you aren't a conservative, then by God, you're a bleeding heart liberal. If you're not a liberal, by God, you're ultra conservative, and you don't allow women to have their rights, blah, all that. It's like whatever. You know, again, politics. I hate politics. Um, Not a fan of politicians. You know, I've said multiple times, I think they're all criminals. I don't care whether you're talking about Joe Biden. I don't care whether you're talking about Donald Trump. I don't care if you're talking about Nancy Pelosi. Every member of Congress, every Senate, every member of the House, clear on down to city governments. There are crooked people in all walks of life that are only really out for themselves. And you know, how do you fix that? I think we need common, everyday people in our politics. But a common, everyday person can't afford to even be in politics because you've got to have such backing that you can, saturate the airwaves with your face and your spiel. So be it. The whole make America great again, or rebuild this or rebuild that, whether it be from Donald Trump or, I don't even know what Biden's cash line was, who knows. But, we're at $5 a gallon gas. Inflation is at an all-time high. Corporate profits are also at an all-time high, so that really gives you something to think about. It's not all government. And I've had that discussion before on here and with friends that, it's all Biden's fault and blah, blah, blah. Again, it's not Biden's fault. If you go back to the COVID days, we were using hardly any fuel because nobody was going anywhere. But the demand is up. They are not able to supply the demand because they lost workforce in the oil industry, just like every other industry has in this country and actually around the world. And ultimately when it comes down to it, whether the company is an oil company or a food supplier or a baby formula supplier, it's all about this. It truly is. The whole baby formula thing, shame on Abbott Laboratories. They had a problem. They had I believe it was a bacterial contamination in some of their baby products, which obviously is a bad thing. And they shut the plant down and never reopened it. The only plant in the country that made several types of formula, and they closed it and never reopened it. Because my opinion, and again, strictly my opinion, I don't have any facts to back it up, but my opinion is it was because it would cost too much to fix the problem, to correct whatever the issue was that was allowing bacterial contamination into the baby formula. They thought, you know what, heck with it, we're not going to do it. We'll just close the plant. Lay those people off, move them to other plants, whatever. And obviously that has snowballed. As a grandfather with a 1-year-old now that was on baby formula, for a while there, it was a matter of any time we go to the store, if we'd see a can of formula, we would buy it because we didn't know when we would see it again for the baby. She's transitioning now to whole milk and formula mix, and then, and obviously to whole milk. So apparently we're getting formula in from other countries because they still have supply. Which again just floors me. Let's just close the only plant that produces that, and nobody in the government thought this was a big deal. Nobody at Abbott Labs thought this was a big deal. It just is amazing to me. So, in other words, the country is still just a fucking mess. Nothing's getting fixed. Nothing's getting better. I mean, things are getting worse. Obviously, our pocketbooks are shrinking because it costs you twice as much to fill up your car. It costs you probably half as much again to buy groceries. So things are not good right now, but hopefully we'll see some improvement. I don't know. I fear for what's going to happen over the next couple of years. I don't know what we're going to do about Europe and Ukraine, because unfortunately I don't feel that Putin is afraid to use a tactical nuclear weapon if he feels he's backed into a corner. I don't know how the United States would respond to tactical nuclear weapons used by Russia in Ukraine. I don't know how we would respond. We're a member of NATO, the biggest member of NATO, actually. So and I know how we should respond. But you look at the big picture. Is the world ready to start World War III that's going to be nuclear over Ukraine? Unfortunately, I don't think that we will. I mean, well, thank God, really. I don't want a nuclear war. But, you know, this is a matter of Putin and his little man syndrome, you know, trying to flex his muscles. And I don't know what the answer is over there. It's been scary. I've called some things that have happened way back when. I said, keep an eye on this, keep an eye on that. You know, if these things happen, this is the next step. And that's what's happened. And unfortunately, I fear the next step is going to be either tactical nuclear weapons or chemical or biological, which, you know, obviously a horrible thing to even think about. So anyway, that's all I got for you today from Ramblings of a Short Fat Bald Guy. Sort of a down post, and I apologize for that, but you know, hey, I haven't been on in a while, and it's like things are still a friggin' mess around here. Talk to you later. Bye.